Happy spring, everybody. It's the time of year where I've got a lot of asparagus and a lot of eggs, and we need to start putting some meals together. Hey, I'm Angela, the Inquisitive Farmwife. So glad you're here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so excited to have you in the kitchen. And if you're returning, I just love that you came back to be with me again today. It warms my heart. Let's put together a springtime meal. I have an abundance of asparagus. These are not looking the best. They are admittingly getting older, and they got a little bit by the refrigerator. I'm having a hard time getting my refrigerator regulated, and so they're just, they need a little pizzazz. So we're gonna dress them up with some bacon, and then I am going to cook some eggs, and we're gonna put together a meal that could be served as a brunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Tonight it's gonna be our supper, but really, you can make this any time of the day and enjoy it. So what are we waiting for? Let's get to cooking, because I got a hungry family to feed. So I grabbed a small pot. These green eggs are actually from my chickens, and these white eggs are from my ducks. They are smaller duck eggs, so they're perfect for using as a chicken egg in recipes. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to cover the eggs with water, and we're going to do what I call steaming them, where I'm going to bring it up to where it starts to bubble and then shut it off. I have the oven preheated to 400 degrees. Next, I'm going to open up my asparagus. I like to take a damp towel and put on my asparagus. And I just wrap it in foil. I'm going to give this a quick rinse. And now I kind of want to make these a little closer in size. I'm going to pop off the ends. Asparagus typically will just kind of pop where it needs to. Oops. I've already done that once, but since these are older, I want to make sure that some of the ends didn't get stiff and dry from being in the refrigerator. There's about a pound of asparagus here, and I kind of want to keep them close to the same size. We'll put maybe a couple in each bundle. We're not going to do a lot to this asparagus today, because we're going to be making a sauce to go on top of the eggs, and then I think we can put it right on top of this asparagus. But I was very tempted to bring you a recipe that had brown sugar, garlic, salt, and pepper. Instead, I've got some Creole seasoning, and I'm going to sprinkle that on top of this to give it a little something extra. And then I have a package of bacon. I know the boys are going to love this. I'm going to grab about 3 pieces here. And we're going to take and we're going to wrap this. I don't know, but I have a feeling if I go the opposite, go around it, and then we're going to tightly try to wrap around here. And I may be able to go back through and put a second piece of bacon on there. The boys would probably like it best if I did. There, this is a much stretchier piece of bacon and a lot longer. This one's working better. There we go. And you just want to expose as much of the bacon as you can, and then cover as much of the asparagus as you can. So I may redo that one. And you want to do this because the fat from the bacon is going to really get absorbed when you cook it in the oven. And we're gonna, like I said, I've got it set to 400 degrees, and we're gonna bake that for maybe 25 minutes. I just heard the water boiling, which was not what I wanted to have happen. The water wasn't supposed to come to a boil with the eggs the way I cooked them, but that's okay. Life happens. It'll be fine. So what I did is I shut it off. I would show you, but my hands are covered in bacon. But I shut the stove off. And now I'm just going to let it sit in that water and steam for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. 8 nice little bundles. I think that'll be good enough. And then this can be fried for breakfast. Unfortunately, this milk got shaken. You can still see a little of the cream here, but it got shaken before I could separate the cream off of it. My preferred choice would be to have a cup of cream. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour off the top, and hopefully we'll get as much cream as possible. This is whole cow's milk. If you're shopping at the store, get heavy cream. We also need some sour cream, probably about a cup of that too. We like lots of cream sauce, well, on anything, whether we're making a gravy or whether we're putting it on like a cheese sauce on vegetables. Or today, for our eggs and asparagus, we like lots of sauce. Probably a half a cup of each would be appropriate, but I'd rather have leftover than not enough. I also want to go ahead and get out some Parmesan, some Dijon mustard, and if you have it, get some horseradish sauce. I like the Applewood smoked. Timer went off. I've got my eggs soaking, ready to peel. Okay, so now I think I'll go ahead and see about plating up these eggs. Now, when I crack open my duck eggs, it's different than my chicken eggs. We had a chicken egg explosion here. The duck eggs, I tap the bottom. I stick my spoon in under the shell, I go up, and then I push it around, and it just will come off that way. Duck eggs are just slightly different. Make sure I got all that off there, just in case. I think I'll put it on a paper towel. So you can just get right underneath it, and it just comes right off. It's just a little different than a chicken egg. Now a chicken egg, I'll find the bottom, I'll tap it, and then I kind of roll it around. I don't want to be too rough because I know these chicken eggs, I'm hoping for a soft boil. And then I'll pinch where the air sac was, and then usually that'll just pull right off. I don't want to put the spoon in there because it's just a different texture shell, and so I'm afraid I'd end up chopping up the egg. But if you can get right underneath there, that'll peel right off. And by the way, these are going to be a little harder to peel because I just gathered and washed these eggs. So they're not old, you know, the ones you get at the store can be weeks old sometimes. Let's see what we got. Oh, we ended up with basically a hard-boiled egg. But that's not a bad thing. That's okay. That's so funny. You can see who was eating what. You know, did that little chicken like the dandelions better than the other one did? And did one like the bugs better? And who was eating the corn scraps? And we're gonna go ahead and throw in a duck egg too. Turn on the stove. If I had the cream, it would be all cream. We don't want it to get too hot too fast. So I've got a whisk, and I'm just gonna whisk this till it warms up. I've never poached an egg before, but I imagine a poached egg would have been the better solution because I really wanted a soft egg, and that's not what I got. So if you know how to poach an egg, do it. And you'll probably be really happy with that. So I've got to teach myself how. Okay, our milk is hot. We're going to add in our sour cream. I'm going to shut off the stove, because we don't want our sour cream to get too hot, because then it could curdle. And we don't want that happening, so I'm going to whisk it really quick. There, now we have a nice thick sauce. Wonderful. To this, I'm going to add, see, there must be maybe a tablespoon left of the horseradish. And I'll probably put that much of the Dijon mustard too. Whisk that in. Garlic salt. And some pepper to taste. Get yourself a tester spoon. Yes, that's really, really good. Okay, I've got the toaster going. And I'm going to put a couple of bundles of asparagus on there. Got our cream sauce here. We've got our toast. Which you can choose to butter if you want. And I'm going to pour it all over those eggs. Like I said, poached would be nice. Put a little on that asparagus. Add a couple pieces of toast. Sprinkle on the Parmesan cheese. Now you're ready to eat. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next time.